All right. We'll go ahead. Good morning, gentlemen. The time is 12:10, July 21st, quarterly session. We'll go ahead and open up with an invocation from Senator Pat Alden. Thank you, Senator Pat Alden Jr. We'll go ahead and start with a roll call with Black Lodge.
White Clay, Black Lodge here.
Yeah, Black Lodge. White Lodge is me, really.
What do you like to do with that? Yeah.
Somebody else did too.
There. Alden live over here.
Deputy Bighorn here.
Solid Roads, Bighorn here. Salute eyes are here. Good luck. He goes to Gun Punch Charge are here. Never there. I don't know. Here.
Early Brown, Reno's here.
Realtor at Mighty Field. 13 present, Speaker.
All right. I wanted to remind you that Senator Tom Yellowtail is at Sundance. Again, Senator Yellowtail is at Sundance issue that we did call. Senator Bryce Rogers called too, and he's on his way. And then Lawrence D. Crane, Senator Lawrence D. Crane is on his way, and he will be here shortly. I haven't heard from Senator DeMontley, and they'll just Senator Tyson was here. He did sign in, but he's not here right now. I think he's around the area, so he should be here any moment. With that being said, we'll go ahead and foolish reports that it was medical. So we'll go ahead and right into old business. So this joint action resolutions, old business resolutions of the Crow Tribal Legislator and the Crow Tribal Executive Branch entitled Resolution Allocate all funds in the Energy Development Project account established by the Crow Tribe Water Rights Settlement Act for the tribe's Yellowtail After Bay Hydro Project. This was distributed to Natural Resources Committee. Senator White Clay.
At this time, we had a committee recommendation to send it to the floor.
Okay. So we need somebody to read that into the record. Senator Alden.
What business this up?
starting with old business.
Somebody recommend?
So, old business, so we got that.
Motion to get it on the floor.
All right, so we need a motion to move it onto the floor.
Best thing to do is start from presentation so everybody can get an
Was
idea.
it, I don't know if it was that read into record.
Was it?
What was it?
Hold on. Hotel after
Give
Bay
us
High
give us a
Road.
few moments here. Actually,
Was not read into record?
Yes, it has to, must be written, motion to get on the floor, title, and read from there. Protocol, huh?
so, we would need a motion to get it onto the floor, Senator Whiteclay.
Motion.
Motion by Senator Pat Allen, second by Senator Melbear, question by Senator Nomi. All in favor, raise your right hand. Unanimous, 13 yes, 0 no's, 0 abstain. Correct, Secretary? All right, we'll go ahead. We will need that. So we would need that, read that into record. Sherry,
What?
do you think I can get a protocol? Eight-tier protocol? Recognizing Councilor Don Gray.
The original?
Yeah, that microphone, how I lost that?
With permission to proceed, Speaker 8 will read the original version from when it was introduced, April regular session 2017.
Okay, can you read the heading?
Sure. April 2017 Pro Tribal Legislature Joint Action Resolution Number JAR 17-blank, introduced by Alvin Godfrey Jr., Chairman. Pro Tribal Executive Branch, Joint Action Resolution of the Pro Tribal Legislature and the Pro Tribal Executive Branch entitled Resolution Allocating All Funds in the Energy Development Projects Account established by the Pro Tribe Water Rights Settlement Act for the tribe's Yellowtail After Bay Hydroelectric Project.
Motion, need a motion to adopt? Motion by Senator Hill, second by Senator Whiteclay. You may proceed.
Whereas Section 412B of the Pro Tribe Water Settlement Act, Publication 111-291, December 8, 2010, the Act recognizes the Pro Tribe's exclusive rights to develop and market the power generation on the Yellowtail After Bay Dam, provided that such project is completed within 15 years after the date of the Act. And whereas Section 411C2, 411E3C, and 414D of the Act establish the Energy Development Projects account, the account within the Crow Settlement Fund providing $20 million in funding subject to adjustment to reflect changes in appropriate cost indices to be used for expenditures by the tribe for, among other things, development and marketing of power generation on the Yellowtail Afterbay Dam hydropower project, and whereas preliminary engineering has been completed for the project by Sorensen Engineering, and it is estimated that the project will cost in excess of $20 million. And whereas the chairman of the executive branch has the authority and responsibility pursuant to the enumerated powers in Article 4, Section 3A of the Constitution and bylaws of the Crow Tribe of Indians to represent the Crow Tribe in negotiations with federal, state, and local government and other agencies, corporation, association, or individuals in matters of economic development affecting the Crow Tribe. And whereas pursuant to Article 5, Section 2A of the 2001 Crow Tribal Constitution, the Crow Tribal Legislature, hereinafter the legislature, is vested with the power and duty to promulgate and adopt laws, resolutions, ordinances, codes, regulations, and guidelines in accordance with the Constitution and federal laws for the governance of the Crow Tribe of Indians, and for providing for the manner of the sale, disposition, lease, or encumbrance of tribal lands, interests in lands, or other tribal assets, and whereas the Crow Tribe and tribal members will receive substantial long-term economic benefits from the development of the project. Now therefore be it resolved by the Crow Tribal Legislature and the Crow Tribal Executive Branch, Section 1, that the entire balance of funds in the Energy Development Projects account, the account within the Crow Settlement Fund established by the Crow Tribe Water Settlement Act is hereby designated for and allocated to the final design, procurement, and construction of the Yellowtail Afterbay Hydroelectric Project, and the executive branch is hereby authorized to make expenditures from the account for such purpose, subject to such further approvals by the legislative branch as are required by tribal law for particular contracts and amendments to the tribal budget. Section 2, that the Bureau of Indian Affairs and the Office of Special Trustee are hereby requested, authorized, and directed to make the entire balance of the Energy Development Projects account available for expenditure by the executive branch as authorized by this resolution, subject to further approvals by the legislative branch are required by tribal law for particular contracts and amendments to the tribal budget. Section 3, that this resolution is effective on the date of approval by the chairman of the executive branch and is subject only to such further approvals as are required by federal law. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councilor. Sound great. 30-minute presentation by sponsor. Would you like to say a few words on Senator Whiteway?
Chair. Yeah, Chair, I'd like to say a couple of words about this bill. Right now we're in the process of bringing coal back, but we want to diversify all of our energy resources and our natural resources. When we had the committee meeting, we requested that Sorensen come and do a presentation, that we receive all invoices from him directly, so that way we can hear it from him himself that this is the amount needed to get it at 100% for completion of the design. And we added in there that we wanted all future expenditures to be brought forth through this branch. So that way we're not just opening up purse strings and having a free-for-all on this $20 million, because once it's spent, we don't have any additional for it. So, and this will provide some jobs as far as construction, and it'll provide some annual income from another source to the tribe on I think we were looking at a 25 to a 30-year plan with O&M on there, and Sorensen came in and did a good job on doing the presentation, and it's not like we're really have any other means for the hydro dam is the settlements there, and we'll be able to use it, and we have a window for it, but with that, adding to where they have to come through the expenditures through the legislature, that'll have more of a hold on what we, and have more of a accountability and transparency in spending. So, and just for the presentation, and so everybody knows that this is a good project, and I'm a proponent for this within, if they adhere to all the laws and reporting that's done with this, this can be something good for not only the Bighorn District, but for the Crow Tribe. Thank you.
We're still in 30-minute presentation. Go ahead, Senator Fred Alden.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Secretary, members of the body. Bill, just a little bit of comment on this, also a proponent of this bill. Some of you did make that committee meeting, but Sorensen mentioned that it was initially a $45 million project, which was under black coal, one of those. Anyways, they cut it in half, and when we talk about jobs, and we asked that, what's it going to create eventually within the general fund? Like I said, we're always hurting for money, and then this is automatically going to create a 1.5 in the general fund. But once we get a little bit of things paid off, it's like then it's going to double. That's $3 million to not just general fund, but to the budget actually. Then where you guys can allocate where that money goes once that $3 million extra comes in every year, and that's as long as that water flows, that's going to be $3 million to the budget. Like you said, we look at, you mentioned diversifying. We're not looking just at coal now. This is clean energy, and the government's always looking for a clean energy project today. So then I want to mention that it's jobs too. We got under construction. You mentioned at least 80 jobs that it's going to create with the construction phase. So like I said, I'm a proponent for this bill. I know it's in the district, but it's going to benefit each and every one of us. And I know some of you guys are going to eventually run for chairman again, and you're going to look to that. So this is $3 million in your budget that you can use. So think about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Pat Alden. Attorney Counselor Bill Watt, we're still in 30-minute presentation. Would you like to say a few words?
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much, members of the body. I know Clay Gregory was here just a little while ago, and I haven't been able to reach him again, but I have nothing to add other than to express strong appreciation for the support and all the committees worked on it, and with fairly, with all the additions, hopefully it has all the accountability and compliance with WPA and everything that the body is rightfully looking for. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. We'll go ahead and this was designated in Natural Resources Committee. We would like for your Senator Whiteley for the recommendation to the proposed bill.
Yeah, the committee's action on that would be recommending to sending it to the floor with amendments.
For approval.
Approval to send it to the floor with amendments.
And motion by second. Motion by Senator Hugs. Second by Senator Pat Alden. Question by Senator. Okay.
Approval in.
Approval in. We need to. All right. We'll go ahead to. So we're making a motion to get out of the committee. Okay. So now we're at, sorry, Ms. Hazimi. So we'll go ahead and, we'll go into debate right now.
Debate.
Debate.
You don't need a motion.
Go ahead, Senator, Tom Robert.
Thank you very much. I'm a proponent of this bill. Originally, I started this project within the Carl Van administration. I went after funding with energy and economic development, and the funds were allocated to through the Department of Interior National Office to a 638 program, which I was supposed to manage at that time, and somebody essentially checkmated me and decided to take that funding and manage that funds themselves. And it was algo que estuve que escuché con escupir para los anyways, besides that, I'd like to say that
I think
I'm
that's
going
ready
for
to
this bill,
Yeah.
and during discussion in committee, we need to have control mechanisms, because I seen where, and I hope the video is on, I seen where this project, these funds were originally allocated, and now we're doing it again. We're reallocating the money again. And I expressed to the individuals at the executive office, I talked to Sorensen, I talked to Clay Gregory, is that his name? I said, since the monies were already expensed for that purpose, what kind of product did we receive? And they said that they hardly received anything. And at that time, I expressed, did we notify the internal control mechanisms that we did not receive anything? Did we inform Interior as a trust responsibility for our tribe that this contract was expensed? And did we also notify the OIG on the services that were not provided under the previous contract? And so we as a body, we as a branch, need to start to have these contractors adhere, maintain this specific contract for the co-tribal government. We cannot always provide funds to these contractors, and these contractors are not expensing these monies for the intended purpose. It seems like I've seen this over and over and over again since I've been here a year and a half, where there is no control mechanisms, monies are sent out, and there's no justification, things like that. I see where state monies, the monies are allocated, but they're not utilized for their intended purpose, our federal monies. So all the way around, all funds that are received on behalf of our government, we need to make sure that it's provided and maintained for its intended purpose and its justification. And so a contractor that does not provide those services need to be informed to the Office of the Inspector General, not only that, U.S. Attorney's Office, because there is a crime that was committed, and with that, we need to make sure that our money, our people's money, the enrolled people's money is utilized for intended purpose. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Tom Robert. At this time, we'll go ahead and we're still in debate. Motion to. Go ahead, Senator.
You read my mind, though. I'll make a motion to cease debate and waive second reading and move on to final roll call vote with amendments.
Is there any amendments?
Yes, there was. The committee.
Yeah, I have a question, Speaker.
Yes.
Speaker, members of the body, like that, no amendments were made on the floor, but they made changes during committee. So, how do we state that, Mr. Parliamentarian?
My suggestion would be to read the amendments
Into record.
into the record, because brought in no amendments, but then the amendments were made during committee.
Luca, the amendments were read into
Record in
during committee and voted on them.
So was the entire amendments read earlier in the beginning?
By the amendments.
So we would need to read those amendments, sir.
On
So
the
we-
floor.
On the floor,
Right?
Yes.
yes.
Yep.
I'll retract my motion till he's done reading his and clarifying the amendments, and then make that motion.
Okay, thank you. Counselor Don Gray, would you proceed with, and I believe the amendments are all on their desk right now, right? Okay, so we'll go ahead and move on to amendments. The amendments were made in committee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What I passed out was a packet, and it shows cover page with the logo. And you'll see the first piece of information is the red line, and the second is the clean version for the floor to pass. So I'll just quickly run through the amendments, and I believe for this one, we had about 4 of them. First of all, the date we're changing from the original introduction date is to this session, pulling it out of old business, so that is changed from April to July. The fourth whereas is added, and this language is whereas the Crow Tribe has contracted with Sorensen to complete the design for the project, an estimated $830,000 of funds are required to compensate Sorensen for work completed to date and for future work to bring the project design to 100% completion, and it is now necessary to promptly compensate Sorensen for its work in order to advance the project end. On the second page, there are 3 sections added, beginning with section 3, that the executive branch is hereby authorized to draw down from the account a total of $830,000 to compensate Sorensen Engineering for its past design work on the project, together with additional work required for completion of the 100% design work on the project, and the tribal budget for FY 2017 is hereby amended to authorize such expenditures. Section 4, that all other project expenditures from the account shall be subject to further advance approval by the legislature by joint action resolution. The executive branch shall provide project expenditure reports for all project expenditures from the account to the chairs of the legislature branch, finance, and natural resource committees. Section 5 was added. Crow Tribal member employment preference. All entities selected to perform construction work on the project shall cooperate with the Tribal Terra office to ensure that Crow Tribal members are provided training in order to successfully gain employment preference as directed by the Workforce Protection Act. The executive branch is directed to assure this task is carried out and shall report quarterly on the status of the workforce for the project. Mr. Speaker, that concludes the amendments. And again, I'd like to say that the document behind it is the clean version for the passage for the floor.
Thank you, Councilor Don Gray. Just for the record, Senator Tyson Grovan and Senator Lee Crane are present. We would need at this time a motion for amendment approval. So, Senator Alden.
This time I'll go back to my motion again, and make a motion to cease debate.
Go in order.
Wait. We have to vote on the amendments that approve football, so it's a motion to approve the amendments.
So, question of privilege there.
Question of privilege over here too.
Number 8.
They were already read in the record in committee and approved in committee, so it's hitting the floor. So once I make my motion and state that it's going to final roll call vote with amendments, that's with amendments, so I'm going to make my motion stated with amendments or not, because it's already happened in committee.
So
We already voted on the amendments in committee and it's passed. So I'm going to make my motion put with amendments in there.
okay, you may proceed. Correct? Alderman Karen?
Go either way.
So we'll go ahead and go with Senator Pat Alden.
So this time I'll do it again. Motion to cease debate Moving the final roll call vote with amendments. Waive second reading.
Before you did that, after you did that, we have a question of privilege from Sean. I've got second dictators, so we're still over here.
Oh, question.
They can deny me my freedom of speech. I've been that way for a year and a half. If you guys want to keep on doing that, I'm good with it. Did I ask a question?
Go ahead, Senator Sean.
I just wanted a professional opinion from the counselor. We expensed this originally for the same services. Now we're expensing it again for the same services. The question I had was, do we have enough control mechanisms so that the Crow people receive their justified service based on this contract? Because we don't want to be here a third time and try to allocate the same monies over again. So we got shyster after shyster coming, trying to provide the same service. Can you give me a professional opinion, Councilor Gray?
Thank you for the question, Senator Reelberg. From the committee meeting, the presentation given by Sorensen's on whether or not we lost money by changing companies, firms, and the presentation that was given, which we also have documentation, is that probably the only duplicated portion was to the tune of about 25,000, and that was from conceptualization to design. So we didn't duplicate design. What happened was the transition from conceptualization from Coal Black Kettle. They took what the conceptual document of that was, and then they began the design work. Took some of the proposed design work from Coal Black Kettle, and what Sorensen effectively implemented or created the design for this. And so originally we had thought that all of that work that Coal Black Kettle did was lost and it was reduplicated with Sorensen's, but during the committee meeting, they presented that there's two phases there, I guess, which is the conceptualization and then the design. And from moving from the first to the second, only about $25,000 was lost. But if you look at the overall project, Sorensen's, with their background, were able to reduce the total cost from the 44 million to the 20 million approximate. So they cut it in half with the design of not cutting a complete hole into the project, but providing for that sluice spade. And so that seemed to be more feasible for this dam, and also in conjunction with the trout situation. So it became more cost effective actually to change firms. But from that switch from the conceptualization to design, I would say that the tribe only lost about 25,000. But if you measure that against the money that was saved, cutting the project from 40 to 20 million, probably was a smart move on that part. The second part of your question with regards to control mechanisms, and we've been discussing that quite regularly with regard to the BOR money, the DEMD money. The reason why they are tapping into the energy development fund, the 20 million, which is completely appropriate for, the DEMD monies was not used accordingly. We don't know what happened to that money. They thought that it was going to cover at least a portion of this up to some point. But because it's not there, they had to now move into the 20 million fund to keep the project going, so that if you know time is money, and if you waste time and don't keep progressing forward, it's going to cost more. So that was the idea of now moving into that fund, and again, it's completely appropriate for this project. In the future, for control mechanisms, I do think we need to have a very serious review of that. And one of the things that we did require from here on out is to have the Natural Resource Committee Chairman, along with you, I believe, to be attending these monthly meetings to keep up to date on where that money is going, how things are running, at least a status update, so that at the tail end, you're not getting the information saying that some money was missing, now we want you to fund it a different way. So that is one of the ways, but internally, I would suggest that Mr. Gregory come up and talk about the federal controls that we should be very cognizant of. So just controls over the money, Mr. Speaker, with your permission, if you
At
can
this time,
Sorry.
we'll go ahead and move on to the motion here.
answer your question.
Go ahead.
One more.
I think it's just a motion eliminated.
No
Your
more.
motion, please. No, no disrespect, this is debate, not debate, Kirigina. Again, motion, Senator motion, we have to entertain that motion. Could days ago, we gotta learn how to, when a motion grace, rules, there you go. Robert Rules of Order.
We are already on the train when he made the motion and second, motion by, can you repeat your motion?
Question the thing there's no, can't change it. In a second, because I'm to Las Vegas. Yeah, I guess that.
I would take a hold of
Quick, the question, quick, that he still has that.
All right, then you're correct, yeah, but I'm wrong, yeah.
No, all right. Look up. Go down, look up the,
Until there's a question, Lagala, there's nothing. So question,
so, I guess, so,
nothing over it,
That
there's
was
no
the question.
debate, there's no nothing.
okay,
About it.
so, is that correct, Alderman Terry?
Speaker, it's up to the speaker. It's sole authority falls on the speaker after the motion's on the floor to recognize the question of privilege.
I am gonna go ahead and allow Sean to ask that one question, and then we'll move on.
Oh, just, I was just gonna ask it further on, the position on what was stated earlier on control mechanisms. As we move forward on control mechanisms, we need to make sure that, the funds for DMD are looked into by the OIG, because if we do not know where the funds are and we're expensing monies for the purpose that is not there, then there's no more monies in that account. Now we're moving to a different account. Is it our position, our government, to make sure that these contractors are held responsible? So that's the position, and that's the statement. In addition to that, I'd like to have our counselor express that understanding or that opinion. When funds are expensed for a contract and the monies are already gone and they're no longer there, what is our recourse?
Will you answer that question?
Again, that's the subject of the Finance Committee in conjunction with the Natural Resource Committee. What I would suggest is that we have a meeting with the department heads on that. But the obvious answer is we want to know if this has been reported and it's been investigated. And so a letter would begin with that. But also the meeting.
Okay,
And an oversight by the contractor or the individual that's handling that type of project?
Right.
okay. We'll go ahead and move on. Go ahead, Senator Pat Alden.
Our motion's on the floor, there's a second, all we need is a question.
Motion by Senator Pat Alden. Can you repeat the motion?
Hey. Motion to cease debate, move into a final roll call vote with amendment. Let's waive second reading.
And second by Senator Three Irons, question by Senator Paul Spotted Horse. He made. All in favor, raise your right hand. All noes? One no. All abstain? Tally. Tell it. 13-1. We'll go ahead and move to final roll call. Senator Briarns. 14-1, correction on that. 14 yes, 1 no, and 0 abstain. Go ahead.
Clearance, Blackbird, yes.
Whiteclay, Blackhawk, yes.
Eagle, yes.
Good, you want that, yes.
No, Electric, yes.
Rovon, Rajstrass, yes.
Alden Bighorn, yes.
Waterford, Bighorn, yes. Wheat Creek, yes.
Others, yes. Good luck. Mighty Few, yes. Delaware, Mighty Few, yes.
Bergeron, yes.
Real Bird, Mighty Few, yes.
Tally of the vote. 50 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain. Okay, we'll go ahead and at this time, I would like to ask Senator Pat Alden to pray over the food and to recess it back up. So I would need a motion to recess. Second.
Motion.
Motion by Senator Rice Hug, second by Senator Pat Allen. All in favor, raise your right hand.
Hey, gavel, there's Ikui, there's then bills passed, either. I just think, Jackie, White size, can you retract your motion? All right, retract motion for Senator Rice Hugs. Second opinion by Senator Pat Allen. We'll go ahead and all proponents that were for the legislation on the floor, the lead. They lost the year. Bill, you want to say anything great? Gregory? That was passed.
Yeah, Clay Gregory here. I want to thank the body on this piece of legislation and all the hard work that's gone into it. I would specifically want to thank Senator Whiteclay for his efforts with the Natural Resource Committee, and again, I want to thank this body for moving this piece of legislation through. This is a very important project, I believe, for the Crow Tribe, and I'm proud to assist the tribe with this project. At the end of the day, this is going to be a solely owned Crow Tribe hydro project and power plant, and will generate power and nice revenue sources for the Crow Tribe to bring in. So we appreciate your work today and look forward to working with this body with the full reporting and accounting that definitely should be occurring. So we will be making plans to give you reports on a quarterly basis as you need. And quite frankly, with the two chairmen attending some of our monthly meetings, I think that would be a very good information back to you.
Thank you, Senator. Clay Gregory. Go ahead, Senator Paul Hill.
Presentation, they look for recess, I got a motion, so the last one, presentation, guy one.
Okay.
Go ahead. Presentation done.
I don't know. making the presentation.
Are you guys done with the voting, or,
Comment?
the whole comments, okay?
All right, I'd like to make a motion here, before we eat, sometimes we, we go to lunch and then we don't come back and it's Friday. If not, 3 limit waivers, you already read it in the record, there's no amendments, right? So, there's one amendment. On exhibit B, one guy's gonna kind of bundle them up and, throw them into, to vote, so. Motion.
So. Second, see,
It's already on the agenda, it'll be there. There already.
then, it has to go through agenda, motion, second, question Luke,
I need a second to take.
and second by Senator,
On that point there, I have to throw in a point of order,
okay,
because then the law keeps you on. Unless if you amend the agenda, then we can go with this motion and a second. So, it's up to you, figure.
Motion now, is to, like he says, waive rules, so, no last thing.
May I say something? If you happen to waive the rules, you have nowhere to go on.
so,
It's the rules for the agenda.
Don't get through that.
agenda one, we should put forward, and, we're gonna
Amend
move.
agenda, motion to amend agenda.
There you go.
Okay, there we go.
Second.
Second by, Mason, motion to amend the agenda. Second, motion was made by Senator Paul J. Hill to amend the agenda. Second by Senator Goodluck. Question by Senator Whiteclay. All in favor, raise your right hand. Oh, yes. Oh, was the chief. 10, all noes. Any noes? 1 no, 2 no, 0, any abstain? Okay. There's, so that. 10-2. Yes. We'll go ahead and agenda.
What are you,
What are you amending? Now he has to make a motion.
Zaga amendment on the so motion that's all but I don't put on that please. Senator Hill.
Amending the agenda to put on a joint action resolution entitled Resolution Approving the Pro Tribes Limited Waiver of Sovereign Immunity of Montana Pro Board Grant Contract for the Pro Agency and Head Start. Number 2, a joint action resolution entitled Resolution Approving the Pro Tribes Limited Waiver of Sovereign Immunity of Montana Pro Board Grant Contract for the Upsalagan Water and Wastewater Authority Phase 3C. And a joint action resolution entitled Resolution Approving the Pro Tribes Limited Waiver of Sovereign Immunity in Montana Department of Commerce PSAP contract for all Phase 3C.
That motion has been seconded by Senator, motion by Senator Hill, second by Senator Goodluck, question by Senator. Amendments, that covers the call, because, so,
It's just a change in exhibits, exhibit, switch to the
so that was that motion, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was motion by Senator Paul Hill, second by Senator Goodluck, and question by Senator Sean Wilbur. All in favor? Ten. Any noes? One no or two noes? Any abstain? Okay. We'll go ahead and move on. All right. We'll go ahead and move on to the first one. Go ahead. Please, I just. Okay, we'll go ahead and. Okay, go ahead and read the first one.
Thank you, Speaker. These three limited waivers are located in your July packet. And the first one is for the Head Start one, so go ahead and begin that reading.
Read the title first.
Yes. July 2017 Pro Tribal Legislature Joint Action Resolution Number JAR-blank, introduced by Alvin Not Afraid Jr., Chairman, Pro Tribal Executive Branch. Joint Action Resolution of the Pro Tribal Legislature and the Pro Tribal Executive Branch, entitled Resolution Approving the Pro Tribe's Limited Waiver of Sovereign Immunity in the Coal Board Grant Contract for the Pro Agency Head Start Center.
Need a motion to adopt? Motion by Senator Gill, second by Senator Goodluck. You may proceed.
Whereas the Pro Tribe has been awarded a grant from the Montana Coal Board pursuant to Montana Code Annotated Section 90-6-201 at Secular in the amount of $70,000 for a preliminary architectural report, PAR, and environmental report for a new Pro Agency Head Start in contract number NT-CB-PL-17-0808. A copy of which is attached hereto and incorporated by reference, the Coal Board Head Start Grant Contract. And whereas pursuant to Montana Code Annotated Section 90-6-209, 2A, the Coal Board may not approve a grant to an Indian tribe unless the tribe has agreed. I, to waive its immunity from suit on any issue arising from the transaction of a grant obtained under this part, and double I, to the adjudication of any dispute arising out of the grant transaction in the district court for the first judicial district in the state of Montana, and whereas that in order to receive the funding under the Coal Board Head Start Grant Contract, the Pro Tribe's limited waiver of sovereign immunity set forth in sections 32 and 34 therein must be approved by the Pro Tribal Legislature. And whereas the Chairman of the Executive Branch has authority and responsibility pursuant to the enumerated powers in Article 4, Section 3 of the Constitution and bylaws of the Pro Tribe of Indians to represent the Pro Tribe in negotiations with federal, state, and local governments and other agencies, corporations, associations, or individuals in matters of economic development affecting the Pro Tribe, and to negotiate and approve limited waivers of sovereign immunity in which, when such a waiver is necessary for business purposes in accordance with Article 5, Section 2F of the Constitution, and whereas the legislative branch has authority and responsibility pursuant to its powers and duties in Article 5, Section 2F of the Constitution to grant final approval or disapproval of limited waivers of sovereign immunity by the executive branch when waivers are necessary for business purposes. And whereas receiving the funding provided by the Coal Board Head Start Grant Contract is in the best interest of the Pro Tribe, and the limited waiver of sovereign immunity required by Montana law is necessary for the business purpose of effectuating the Coal Board Head Start Grant Contract. Now therefore be it resolved by the Crow Tribal Legislature and the Crow Tribal Executive Branch, Section 1, that Crow Tribe's limited waiver of sovereign immunity set forth in Sections 32 and 34 of the Coal Board Head Start Grant Contract Number MT-CB-PL-17-0808 attached hereto and incorporated by reference is hereby approved. Section 2, that the approval granted herein is effective on the date of approval of this resolution.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and move on to the 30-minute presentation by sponsor. Bill?
Thank you, Speaker.
Hang on, Bill.
Point of order. Okay, now Senator Hill, package deal with Dick.
So,
Motion, second, but we voted. So I think we just might have to read the headings on those three instead of going, following that, because he got his motion, the body agreed to package the three together. So I think we just need to read the headings on all three.
wouldn't it be still read into record, the next one? Yeah. Okay, so, hang on, Bill, we'll go ahead and read. Go ahead.
Read the heading on that second one.
Second one. And then the third one too, because it's a package deal.
Was that a waiver of the rules?
We got a motion on the way,
Okay, because usually we have the jar at least read in the record. I think the only thing we wanted to waive was all the stuff behind it because the committee read all of that in depth.
let's look at that motion he made then, with that motion.
Okay, so Bill had a recommendation that we can do Paul's request and just read the differences.
Okay.
And I would defer to executive attorney to complete the reading if we proceed that way.
Okay, is that all right with the body? Yep. Okay, go ahead, you may proceed. Yep.
Thank you. The second one is entitled "A Resolution Approving the Crow Tribe's Limited Waiver of Sovereign Immunity in the Montana Coal Board Contract for the Crow for the Apsalaca Water and Wastewater Authority Phase 3C."
We need a motion. Motion to adopt.
Senator Hill, motion to adopt, second by Senator Cook. You may proceed.
Thank you, Speaker. In this, the first and last whereases are different, so I will read them. Whereas the Crow Tribe has been awarded a grant from the Montana Coal Board pursuant to Montana Code annotated Section 90-6-201 at Secular in the amount of $70,000, in the amount of $200,000 for AWA Phase 3C wastewater infrastructure improvements in Crow Agency in contract number MT-CB-17-0787, a copy of which is attached here and incorporated by reference. The Coal Board AWA grant contract. The last whereas reads, whereas receiving the funding provided by the Coal Board AWA grant contract is in the best interest of the Crow Tribe and the limited waiver of sovereign immunity required by Montana law is necessary for the business purpose of effectuating the Coal Board AWA grant. Now therefore be it resolved by the Crow Tribal Legislature and Crow Tribal Executive Branch. Section 1, that the Crow Tribe's limited waiver of sovereign immunity set forth in sections 32 and 34 of the Coal Board AWA grant contract number MT-CB-17-0787 attached to incorporated by reference is hereby approved. Section 2, the approval granted herein is effective on the date of approval of this resolution.
Are those differences?
Oh, excuse me, that concludes all the differences between those two jars.
Okay, you may proceed with, now we'll proceed with 30-minute presentation.
Just one more jar.
There's one more jar.
So all three were the differences, right? Two? Okay.
The third one